시청자 여러분 안녕하세요.
Hello, welcome back to Friday Night Live on Prosthodontics, where we are trying to tackle various issues on prosthodontics through a series of lectures. Under the theme of full denture, we had a series of lectures this year. And today we are going to look into digital denture with Professor Jiman Park from Seoul National University. Thank you. Thank you again for being our lecturer for this session. And I believe you had the first lecture on bite registration, so it's a second time with us. So could you maybe give a summary of your lecture today before we get started? Now, digital dentistry is something very hot topic these days, and if we go a step further, it's about also being able to create removables. So I'm going to focus how you can create removables through digital denture. Yes, there may be more issues to overcome when you create digital removables. So we look forward to your lecture. Now, if you are joining us on the website, you can post your questions, and the questions will be very helpful to other viewers, and you could also win Starbucks coffee coupons. Especially if you're chosen as the best question, we will send 3 Starbucks coffee coupons. So we look forward to your participation. Now we will start with Professor Park's lecture. Please go ahead. So, hello. I'm going to talk about digital denture. Now, digital denture, this is statistics from 3 shapes, and if you look at 2024, it's projected that about 43% will be created dentures digitally. This is because it's labor-intensive work to create dentures. So they hope to utilize digital technology in this area. So with 3D printing, removables or try-in dentures can be created, and with milling, also dentures are created. So conventional way is used, but only processing can be done digitally, or it could also be conventional denture. You already have that, and then it's milled at the dentist. So that could be another approach. So you align teeth with AI, and the gum tissue area can be designed, and 2.5 hours or about 2 hours, it's milled at the dentist. So it's not yet available in Korea because it's rather pricey, and also in the US, you have to travel far away to go to dentistry, so there's higher demand for one-day dentistry. So Evocula, Professor Kukar, who is also dentist, also founder of 3Shape and another company, and is introducing this workflow option. So 3D printing is for try-in dentures, and for milling, it's conventional teeth are used, but the pink area, denture area, it's processed and attached. Or like this. You could have the rough or precise milling. So you do oversized milling first, and then you combine it with the denture to proceed with the next step of more precise milling. So tooth by tooth processing you could also lose them, and there could be a lot of resistance. But if it's oversized milling, then milling itself is already done based on already corrected result. So it might be better. And these days, you actually combine the two. So digitally, if you do denture, this is the benefits, easy to design. That seems to be one of the benefits. So this digital approach goes back to 2006, and with the digitalization of creation metal frame. And recently with the oral scan, even edentulous patient can be easily scanned. So with that, you can create tray and use 3D printing. But still, you have to do border molding. So the muscle, to capture muscle movements, you need still physical impressions using silicone. But after scanning the mother cast, the teeth alignment and processing can be done now digitally. So as you can see, the patient has a lot of nausea, and you cannot do even alginate bone, but it can be easily solved with oral scan. Or the teeth is too loose, then with oral scan, you can scan it very safely. And you could also even create temporaries. And with a lot of surgery, pronunciation is bad, and you have to do a lot of good waxing for the airways. Then without giving too much pain to the patient, you can create these devices. So oral scans are now very much advanced. So even edentulous patient scanning is now even possible. But still, there are some areas lacking. For example, if you do oral scan for this long edentulous area, there could be some distortions. So at ISO, oral scans various cases. They create test methods for standardization. And recently at Sydney meeting, experts gathered to create a more standardized approach. So I believe going forward, even tricky cases can be scanned with the oral scanners. So let me talk in 5 parts. First part is effective use of oral scanner. So to scan a edentulous patient, you have to make sure that the oral scanner recognizes accurately. So without rotating the scanner, I scan the occlusion area. And if it's on the soft palate, it's like this. After scanning soft palates, back and forward. So I only move back and forward. So from soft palate, if you move left, right, it could confuse scanner, which could result in data distortion. So you should avoid that. So denture border area is the most important. Alginate or overextension is what you can think about. So you do buccal area, and then you rotate the scan, and also you push this cheek area and unfold the tissue and scan. That's the approach. So buckle, and then you round it and push on the outside area and scan continuously. What is also important is that this was to create removable, so there's a lot of caries, but on the mandibular area, tongue could block the scanner. But so you have to tell the patient to relax your tongue, and on the lingual side and inside of tongue, the lower side needs to be scanned or extend the area. So it's not easy to get it on the first time. So if you use this type of device to unfold the area, So you have to use this type of kind of device for ease of the scan. And in case of tricky occlusion, you have to use wax ring. But if the old denture can be, because of the occlusion is good, can be easily scanned, then like this, you can scan the denture that the patient is currently using to register the occlusion. And as the occlusion is maintained, you erase the denture, and then that area you scan additionally. So you scan the gum after removing the denture. Then with the old denture occlusion, the mandibular and vestibular is registered, and then the edentulous is then scanned to get to the final result. So this is old denture, which is not bad. Then if you use that, as I said, you then scan the denture first, and when you copy the denture along the border like this, you have to move. So very carefully, so the scan would not get confused. You scan it, so you then copy in this way denture, and after that, with this as the base, you create a tray, customized tray, and border molding, bite registration or impression, and you get the result. So I talked about the oral scanner, and if you use virtual patient, then scanner, and so with the obtained data to the virtual patient, you can create denture. So for this type of virtual patient, you could have applied this to this case effectively. There are many face scans on the market nowadays, and even with the smartphone, you can scan face. So for denture case that I've already shown you, you scan the face first and compare before-after treatment for analysis, or like this. When you align the teeth, using the face of the patient will be possible. So if you have face scan data, the ear area and other data can be obtained. And the Bostrom point from the ear hole, there is a virtual hinge point that is up forward and downward by 10 to 8 millimeters. So Facebook transfer with that can become easily. So like this, using even mandibular movement is possible. I've already talked about this last time. So let's look at the actual case. This is a patient, edentulous, and on one side inclined. So I use this type of surgery technique. I use a cutback tray, and centric tray is also used. So the first time he comes to the hospital, I register bite and the tempest line, and other basic lines are obtained. So on the first day, alginate injected, and then I put in the tray to get another bite registration. This is key. With using the centric tray, I let the patient bite into it and practice. And so if with the existing denture, then you determine vertical dimension. Then with the patient looking at the mirror, I practice the vertical dimension. Then with the centric train, I let him adjust to the new things. If you do this first, the patient would find it uncomfortable. Mostly the vertical dimension is registered a bit low. And then so I take second impression to get more accurate data. Then campus plane then is used to get the line, and then I use this to get the horizontal information. Then I scan it, put the data in the CAD, then by horizontal or transverse data is put in and registered on the system. Now there's a metal resometer structure, and that is traced to get the CR byte. And at the same time, on the upper and lower, there's a transverse on the occlusal plane ceases even on the interpupillar line. So when you take anatomical registration in the mouth, it actually helps to bite into it more comfortably. Then you take functional impression. I believe you already know about this. So after that, like this type of metal structure is put in the mouth to get the accurate information. And then if you on the same position, let it bite to get clean metal sound to for the comfort of bite. And then bite sig is connected, so face scan jig and natural smile with denture and other face is scanned, and with that I create this type of virtual patient. Then I go to the design face, upper and lower is designed. Then using the patient information, I set where the teeth needs to be, and then I 3D print dentures, deliver it orally, do various tests. Aesthetic assessment, pronunciations, and whether the occlusion is comfortable and good, and retention, in other words, is checked. And after that, we make it digitally, and then the metal framework, I design it, and mostly I do wax block milling and then cast it. And the dentures of different elements are milled and with the pink resin cured, polymerized, and then another milling to create a final denture with a metal framework. So finished, delivered to the patient. And we scan the face of the patient, so we create it to meet the facial structure of the patient. And pink resin has already been cured before being milled, so VD did not become high. So can I ask a question here? So looking at this, it seems that the edentulous patient, you do oral scan using that data. It's not, you don't really create denture with that. Mostly, it seems bite registration. You use the material for bite registration, so take it analogically, manually, and design seems to be from that on then done with the digital stat system. So you scanned it, right? So using the scan information, can you create denture from beginning to the end? Of course, that would be very challenging still, but do you think a day will come where that would be possible very soon? Actually, last year, Professor Lucio Losso delivered lectures on the Society of Prosthodontics last year, and said that if the border is short, with the advancement of technology, it will be possible. So it's a, concept of EPS, right? So it's all about oral scan being accurate. And I think it will be possible with the technology advancement. So like if two can be attached very tightly, And if the border being too short would not be a problem, right? Yes. So my question is also, when you scan orally, then setting the border is always the difficult part. So you're saying even if it's that area is short, if it's very accurate, then retention and stability will still be okay, right? Yes, digital processing makes it all accurate. That's the assumption. But it will take time for us to get there, right? But maybe sooner than you think. Okay, then I will look forward to that. Then the live chat, let's look into that. What kind of comments have already been posted? So Lara Land says, thank you, looking forward to Professor Park's lecture. And Smile said, hello to Professor Park and Joe. And Wise Dentistry Life said, I looking forward to your lecture. And there are also 질문입니다 says, well, thank you for always good lectures, Professor Joe and Professor Park. And I will study hard. And then, so I'll just read comments of support and encouragement. And Dawi Sanyang says, I look forward to Friday because of all the prosthodontic seminar. This is the most useful series of seminars. So thank you very much. Kumyo says, I am really looking forward to Friday lecture series. Thank you so much. I am also going to enjoy this one. So, well, there's a lot of words of encouragement and support. And I think I want to give 2 coffee coupon to people. So Dawi Sanyang said, you know, he find that this series very useful. So as a token of appreciation, I would like to give this person coffee coupon. And Kumyo says, he always looks forward to Friday. My neck is going longer, waiting for it. So, you know, to prevent his neck from going longer still, we will give this person also a coffee coupon. But if you post it continuously, then there are also other moments where we also give out coupons. So please continue to post. And also questions, we can deal with it after the lecture is complete and do everything at all once at the Q&A session. So please continue with the lecture. Anyway, digital denture, you look at actual case. So strength of the digital denture is the analysis and teeth alignment, and in terms of the occlusion accuracy, it's very helpful. And compass line also helps getting the accurate positions. And with the data, you can mold the teeth that you want, and then you align it, and you set articulator like this. And based on that, inclination and cusp can also be checked, and you can, with that information, you create tri-indenture. And when you need it, then temporary can also be created like this. This is how the tri-ins are delivered, and within the orally we check it once more. So we move it laterally to make sure that the denture stays in place. And after the occlusal adjustment is done, then we copy paste on the final ones. So we what's been delivered already in the mouth, you can use that information to create the final one. So that's the benefit of using digital approach. And metal framework, artificial teeth, and denture resin could all be hardened, and using pack and press. So then you can sometimes height can be increased, or with the deflasking there could be distortions. But with this approach, then all the materials are stabilized before it's worked up. So in terms of tissue compatibility and the occlusal plane areas can be exactly as you have designed. So if you have the accurate calibration, in other words.
장비의 캘리브레이션만 정확하게 된다면 그렇게 될 것이라고 생각을 할 수가 있겠습니다.
So in terms of creating dentures, now you scan it like this, and you can even design temporaries or provisionals like this. And wire clasp, if you have to use that, then on the 3D printing, you fold the wires and put it on. Or flexible materials, you can also print it. So you design it and print it like this. So elasticity is this level. Then biplast material, sometimes it cannot be worked out very well, but it's very easy with this, and the alignment is also easier. So silicone materials stays in place. 3D printing, you actually, if you create like this for removable, it's really good. You could also use that first for the try-in. So, and now we have materials that are very hard, good against any fractures. But with the insurance denture that they prefer in Korea, the ones that use metals, and to process it digitally, we also think a metal is better option. So at our research team, we create full dentures with the metal materials, and we also researched on this and put our result on the journals. So then digital denture, I looked into that and developed surgical technique because of obturator. And to put that in the denture, you need metal frames. So like this. First, you mill it. That's what we used. And then we made improvement, upgraded. And we also have ways to create IPDs. And then surveyed crown. We also put in this journal. So surveyed crown is designed like this. And single lingual ledge and undercut gauge are used for the surveyed crown. Undercut or the contour is adjusted so to create zirconia surveyed crowns. So this is NJPD. It has this type of rationale, and so we are applying that. So we design metal frame, worked it up, and digitally we create RPD, and this is a finished step. So we are doing clinical study now, and early data shows in terms of accuracy, and the patient survey result says preference for digital denture is actually higher than conventional denture. So conclusion is this. Digital denture, the production technology is still very complicated. So still it's very on the pioneer and pilot level, but with the technology advancement, material advancement, I believe soon we can really use that in clinical stenting. So pack and press still has a bit errors, but with precision milling using stabilized material, the lab step where it's very labor intensive can become simplified. So thank you very much for your attention. Well, thank you for a very nice lecture. Well, then let's answer some of the questions that's been posted to our website. There have been a lot of questions these days, so we will only respond to questions specifically related to digital denture. Hope that you will understand. Now, first question is whatever the oral scanner that's on the market, are they very accurate in terms of scanning edentulous patients? Well, there must be different by product, right? Yes, there is a difference. Even good scanners with AI algorithm, if you sometimes if automatically erase it, and erasing is sometimes too strong, so edentulous things cannot be fully scanned. But recently it's been updated to correct that. But there are also scanners that's not really that good, so we try to create standards where all the scanner product needs to meet. So it's also related to price of the scanners? Not really, because the price have been really destroyed these days. So it's all about the manufacturer's capabilities. Okay, so we cannot really tell about specific product names, right? So if you want more information, then maybe they can contact Professor Park directly. So if you could let us know your email address, you can email him or call him directly, I guess, to find out more. Next question from Gamzik. Any tips in choosing mouthwash? I think it's something you need to use before scanning. Well, whatever mouthwash, it's not really important. But if you scan edentulous patients with oral scan, inside mouth needs to be fully dry. So I actually dry with gauze. So it has nothing to do with mouth wash. Okay. Podulchi says, I have seen CAD-CAM being used for the temporary denture, but with the CAD-CAM, could you also create full dentures? I think we already covered that in the lecture. So next, 질문입니다 says, alginate, how is it solution? Does it needs to be dense or light? So it depends. It's injection a bit light, but tray needs to be more dense than that. So injection needs to be maybe light body level. Yes. Now Nagyop says, the denture that's made digitally compared to denture made conventionally, any difference in terms of properties, including wear and others? I think with the advancement these days, not much of difference these days. Well, in the recent journal literature article that we wrote, we talked about this, and Denka and 3D printing resin-based artificial denture teeth, it's actually good. And denture-based materials also, yes. So yes, it's getting better day by day. Anything that's made in Korea or Korean company, there are also things made by Korean companies, but I think I should also research more into this area, looking into more different products. So Korean companies' products are also okay, yes, because Korea also has good technology. Kamjik says, oral scanner, does it need to be backed up regularly? Well, these days, data is all on the cloud. So it's uploaded automatically, but the issue is raw data. After scan, you erase it, delete it, and scan again. To do that, you need raw data. But so if the raw data has been deleted, only result remains, that becomes tricky. So if it's important patient, then they can lock up his or her raw data. So you have to see what's happening with the patient data. Okay. Violet Mint says, ignoring cost or duration involved in terms of satisfaction level of the patient. Which is better, removable or fixed full denture? I don't know about the question. So fixed full denture? I don't know. So we'll skip that one. 어깨소문 says, when using digital full denture solution compared to conventional method, how much of the error in production time is it reduced with this digital solution? So how can you answer this question? Well, because we do milling, pack and press goes up and distorts when deflasting, but in terms of error, it goes down. But production time-wise, duration-wise, still it takes time to get used to it. So at labs and others, it takes a bit more time. There's learning curve involved. Nice to meet you says, the digital denture seems to be more complicated and requires more machines or systems or equipment. So what would be the minimum equipment needed? Well, that would be oral scanner and software if it's used at my clinic, right? Oh, temporary or provisionals are printed. So you should also use 3D printer. And final denture, I recommend milling it. So milling machine is something that you would also need. So if you want to do within your dentist, oral scanner, install software, 3D printer, and milling machine, right? So model scanner, you need it still, right? Or you don't need it? Well, border molding with the MasterCAD, if you want to scan that with it, then you would, yes. So final oral, if you do it with the oral scanner, you don't need it with the finals. Well, yes, but we do use digital, but sometimes you can use also oral scanner, but there is a risk of distortion, so you should watch out for that. Now, I'm wondering what should be the standards using the oral scanner. How can you answer that? Well, there is difference by scanner. So scanner they use different software. So some scanner fixes occlusion and you can use it for different ways. Hence, it's easier for making denture, but some scanners, denture and the applications, it's a bit not much, but it's better in terms of accuracy. So it all depends on what case you want to use it for. So the focus of the software also would get you different results, and the capabilities of the vendor or company would also play a role, right? Yes. Now, 질문입니다 says, trying denture and final denture, is there any difference in materials or properties? And if this accuracy level is the same, then can you just proceed straight away to the final delivery? That's a good question. So if you say final delivery, try denture is always 3D printing. So I think the question is asking whether 3D printed this can be the finals. I don't really recommend it because toughness is raw, so you could have fracture and there could be also stains. But recently, Dentsply and others, they have better materials with better properties. So I think it might be possible. So you could have a final. So I see advertisements saying you can 3D print finals. And still, I prefer milling. Yes, milling would be the better option. But for using trying denture, not only in terms of material properties, but aesthetics and in adjusting occlusion, it's easier, right? So it's better to put in trying denture step to have better result, in my opinion. What do you think? Yes, I agree. So digital copy and paste is the strength of digital technology. So you print prototype and testing on the mouse is the strength. So please leverage that benefit. So that would also sometimes have helpful in adjusting aesthetics and also occlusion, right? Yes. So another question, how do you do wiring? So I think putting wire for in the temporary is the question, I think. So you cannot put in as it is because you don't have abutment information. So you create model with 3D printer, you put that in, and then fold it wire. So it's manually done. So in other words, it's analog approach. Okay. Then Captain Americano says in creating dentures, face information is important. So in creating digitally, can you also scan the face information? Yes, you can scan the face using the bite information. And you can send it to the lab. Yes, yes, of course. So another question from Captain Americano, when making with digitally, how can you convey the central lines and others or midlines? Well, central midline without face information, then you see it clinically and you mark it, etc. But if you have face information also, then you don't have to give separate central midline information. So if you scan face, you don't need that information. But if you don't have the face scan information, then you have to give the midline information. Yes. So in the initial start, you use the retro and horizontal information also. But so midline and inclinations, because it impacts aesthetics, so you also need to send those information. Yes, if you don't have the face scan information, correct. And I think Papo was developed by Busan University. Have you used it? Yes, it's really also very convenient to use. Okay.
그것도 아주 아이디어가 참 좋은 제품이었습니다.
그죠?
Next, Captain Americano says, yes, we answered the question. 옥수수 says, thank you for a good lecture. I do have two questions. First one is creating denture with milling. Is there any errors or deviation? And is there any case where milling is not preferable? Second question is printed teeth and attaching it to printed denture base, or the milled teeth and milled denture base attachment or adhesion. How do you do that? I think that's very sharp and tricky, complicated questions. Now, when you mill denture, the thing you need to look out for is that the milling machines, the size is all set. So if the arch is really big or if VD is too high, hence it doesn't go within the disc size, then you have to give up and cannot do that with the milling machine. So maybe they don't have a higher as a product. Also, to create the digital denture, you can put it on the max level. And secondly, undercut. So especially on the maxillar side, the anterior is protruding. So if there's a lot of undercut, then there's also undercut in the denture. So especially on the upper anterior side undercut, that sometimes there could be some shadow because it's not really milled. So if there's severe undercut, so you have to, do the final step with your hand. Then it becomes too pressure. There will be too much pressure then. Yes, you scan the denture compared to that what is designed. And the area that's not milled, we work it up for. So if there's a protruding bones, there could also be undercuts, right? Yes. And second question, printing versus milled. In terms of attachment or adhesion, is it different? I think that is the question. Plus, any difference in terms of accuracy? I think that is what the question is asking. So what is printed? In the, you have to attach teeth in the tooth pocket. What is in the completed? So 3D printing
그래서 이제
pink resin, I use that as the adhesive in the tooth pocket. So it's resin plus to resin. So no cement can be used, needs to be used. Yes, that's correct. But then the full denture, if you put on one side, it pushes. So in the end, it doesn't go in. So you have to use zig to put in accurately. It seems it goes in accurately in your lecture. It can be accurate going in if it's one piece, but if you go one by one, then if you use it, sometimes it goes out. So you have to be careful.
그런 경우는 이제 쓰다 보면 이제 빠지는 경우도 조금 생겨요.
So milling is now developed now. So tooth and the base sometimes can be milled as one body, right? Yes. But I think the question is doing tooth milling, then base milling separately and attach them together. I think that's what the question is about. So our approach is teeth or tooth undercut. We put in pink resin and harden it together. So rather than attaching what's been printed, it holds the denture in place. So I think the benefits of milling, but cement is not used for both cases. You attach with pink resin, right? Yes. Thank you for that answer. Now and then, Jonesai says, in restoring single crown, condylar guidance or anterior guidance should be considered. And to do that, should I use fully adjustable articulator? I don't think so. What do you think? Yes, I agree. So you don't really need to use fully adjustables. Actually, when you teach students, we say the full dentures, for semi-adjustable articulator, it's okay. That's what we tell students. So for full denture, you don't really use fully adjustable articulators, do you? No. And then next question is cost of creating the denture with digitally. How is it cost different from the conventional method? So I think it's not talking about the money or the fee you get from the patient, but maybe talking about the real cost, which is more favorable to the dentist. Actually, in the US, process what's already made is really pricey because you have to buy different pieces. And digital denture solutions by big companies, you have to buy milling machine, all the materials also, which means to equip everything, digital denture can be a bit burdensome in terms of a price. But we can localize it, create that is Korean types, and if the labs use those that are locally developed, but in the end, I think the price level with a cost level will be the same as conventional approach. Yes, same with the implant. In the beginning, you had to use implant from other countries. The cost was really high, but after Korean implants were developed, then dentist cuts became affordable, and Korean ones are also in high quality. So same here. Once it's developed in Korea and becomes price competitive, I think everything would improve. Yes. And test as like your bow tie, Professor Joe. Well, if you had said that beforehand, I might have given you a coffee coupon, but thank you anyway. Another question from Kevin Americano: to scan edentulous area, use marking pad or any tips to make it scan very well? Well, in the literature, they say that PIP paste, smear them on would be helpful, or resin ball is attached also, or using marking pen would also be good because there are scans that can catch colors. But with gauze dry up the mouth, it's much better for scanning in terms of accuracy. So drying is very important. Another question is that for insurance denture, if you do metal processing digitally, it will be too pricey. So I think you use metal frame, and that's why the question. Well, that digital denture is not really done for denture covered by health insurance. But I talked about metal frame because I was talking about how I got started. But once it becomes kind of a routine and very much used surgical technique, I think it might be, the cost will go down. Yes, you can mill the wax. So at the lab, partials are created and takes time and efforts. So if you mill wax, so that's also a way of fabricating and making it. And if it's done large volume at labs, it will be okay. So there are labs that's dedicated in this approach, and they actually like this method better. So that area is okay, but the steps that follows that, creating the final denture, yes, that's still costly. Yes, I understand. And one is that is the zero crown good in terms of retention? I think you show them zero crown? JPD's annual review actually looks into the trends from the articles they carried around the year, and monolithic zirconia crown, they said literally it's okay, and zirconia crown compared to metal, it's harder. So metal has some grinds powders or granulars in that, but the framework for local denture or single dentures, if you put it up and down or remove it and put that in, I think retention is still okay. So the metal might wear, right? So sometimes then the traces of metal is left there. So that you should be mindful. Then Captain Americano says, if you create 3D print model, there could be a lot of contractions. So do you do modelless? Yes, I agree. I only use models to create provisionals. So I use models when I have to put in wires. Otherwise, I do modelless. So here, support land area and the 3D printings, they're using tips to reduce distortion on the 3D printers applied to minimize any shrinkage. So how do you repair, maintain digital dentures? Well, that's a very sharp question. So fracture resulting in repair, that should have been cases, but generally conventional repair way is okay. Yes, because the materials are the same. So still, of course, you cannot create exactly the same ones digitally, but in conventional way, doing repair, not digital repair, would be possible because the material is same. But conventional denture, when you repair it, it becomes weaker, right? So here also, if for digital denture, yes, I would think so too. And upgrade PC, says Professor Park, in digital lectures, you seem to be used 3-shape exocad. So do you use them separately or do you interchangeably to leverage their strengths? And if you use interchangeably and together, what are the tips? He must have used it before. Yes, it seems so. Now 3-shape software, is easy to use. So a lot of things are automated. Hence, going back to the beginning, if you correct something and it's automatically updated, so it's very convenient. ExoCAD is very strong, and you can design whatever whatever the user want. But if you want to correct something, you have to redo all the steps one by one. So if you are skilled, they prefer ExoCAD. But for me, tip-wise, personalized, customized trade module is from 3Shape. So up to creation of the tray, in the beginning part, I use 3Shape. But in Denture designs, I use ExoCAD. So labs would prefer, it seems, ExoCAD. Yes. Okay. Next, test says face improvement, BD setting, jaw relations. If you need this type of additional information, then current digital approach, how is it better than the conventional method? I think face improvement, vertical dementia setting, jaw relations. What do you think? Well, the first day of the patient visit, we use centric tray for this. And I think you need some experience with wax rim as a three-step approach. We set the VDs, etc. But from the beginning, using centric train, there's difference of very actively setting the VD. So, and face, we also use actively face scan. Hence, we can give more information to the labs with digital, and you can use face information, so it's better. But it takes a bit time for you to get used to that, right? So conventional analog approach, also in making dentures, it takes time. You have to do this and that also for patient cases, right? So digital also needs time for you to get used to. So when you drive different cars, you have to adjust to new cars. Same thing, yes. Nagyop says after CR guide to take bite upper and lower, how do you scan the bite? CR guide and then bite scan? In the case that I showed you, I did analog approach. So customized tray design. In the middle, there's some convex area we can put the metal frame. So you put that in, and using the Gorget tracer, you adjust the VD and see the CR and do the bite scan. And then another question, patient's frequency of sore spot in using digital denture versus sore spots in using conventional denture. Any difference? Well, yes, there's difference. I'm doing clinical study on that now. And it seems that, of course, sore spot is adjusted, but we also see adequacy with replica technique, and we also do recall check with patient wearing and that. But sore spot frequency is actually very lower than conventional ones. Okay, that's good. And Blue Moon says, digital denture, is it cost levels a bit similar to the insurance denture? Not yet, right? So is it okay for dentists to get paid as the same as the insurance denture? Well, that depends on the lab operation. There's more still step needed currently. But if you don't want to use pack and press and really switch all digital, then with the digital investment, it will take time, but cost might go down. So if you do it yourself, it will not be as high in cost. But if you use labs for this, then they will associated cost. And Captain Americano says the milled denture, can it be repaired afterwards? Like flexible cannot be dentured, it can be repaired. Yes, if it bypassed, then cannot. But 3D flexible denture resin, it can be repaired. Okay. Then Gamjik says, how do you manually align byte scans?
바이트 스캔을 수동 정렬. 질문의
Manual
잘 모르겠는데요.
alignment?
저희가
I
이제
don't really understand the question,
하고 나서
but
수동으로 노브를
after
이용해서
scanning the byte
세밀하게
manually
조절하는
using knobs,
원하면은 이제
we can fine-tune the detailed adjustment. So adjustment is possible. And then the next question, thank you for good lecture. JB fork is something you can use in the digital denture very well. You can switch digitally by doing the phase VDCRs all at one time, and says, but I don't want to use wax rim. So have you heard GB fork? So for different ideas and solutions are being utilized to make it more convenient. So maybe yes, if you know better ways, it will be easy. And improve efficiency. So, and he says, thank you for good lecture. And with that, we will end this Q&A section. So thank you again for a good lecture, and thank you for answering all these questions. Now, and thank you for all those that given us good encouraging comments and good questions. Now we have to select the best question. So there's a lot of questions, so it's not easy to select one, but could you choose best question? Yes, it's not easy, right? Yes, it's not easy. But I like to choose upgrade PC for asking such a sharp question. Well, congratulations, upgrade PC. You've been chosen as best question. So on Monday, we will send 3 Starbucks coupons to you. And even if you have not been chosen as best question, don't be disappointed. We have lucky draw, and we'll send 7 lucky winners coffee coupons. Well, thank you again for giving very nice lecture on digital denture. And any final comment you want to make before we end this session? Well, I think you'll be very interested with the digital denture. You know, fixed is very easy to do with digital approach, but if you apply a bit differently and think more, then you can also different applications so you can use with more efficiency and make it more effective. So, you know, use digital technology in different ways and be creative. It will be good. So digital denture becomes more popular than Professor Park. You can also update us on the latest technology. So we will look forward to that too. Again, thank you very much for today's lecture. So I hope that you enjoyed today's lecture, and I believe you would also learn a lot, and I hope that it will be helpful in your clinical setting. So if there's any question that we did not answer, we will post our answers on our website. And in the next lecture, we will look into implant overdenture, which will be delivered by Dr. Park Hee-young of Seoul Ace Dental Clinic. Thank you very much.
늦은 시간까지 시청해 주신 여러분 대단히 감사합니다. 감사합니다. 이 박 교수님 고생하셨습니다.
감사합니다.